The purpose of this video is to walk you through how to set up your Tesla and what to expect, also where to put your settings. This is the Tesla unit itself. Here's the amplifier assembly. This is the external coil, the Sansa music player, the subwoofer unit, our speakers, converter box, and power cords, which we're going to start off with. See, there's a female end on this power cord, and there's 3 male prongs inside of the power converter. So we'll just insert these power plugs into the converter units. Okay. And just make sure those are nice and snug inside there. I'm going to plug these cords into my power strip here. See a little blue light turns on. That indicates you've got power to these converter boxes. Now on the back of the amp here, on the right side, is where you're going to plug this barrel connector. This barrel connector is going to go right into these square holes on the amplifiers. So just make sure those are nice and snug. Just put those in there. And just repeat for these other two. Okay. Now if I turn this around to the front, you can see that we have power. We've got lights on these 3 units. Ooh, there's one that went out. I guess I just bumped the cord. So I'm just gonna make sure that's pushed in. And now when I look, oh, there we go. So we've got power on all 3 of the amplifiers. Bumping the cords is something that can happen, especially with cats and kids. Now there's some jacks back here. These are where I'm going to put the plugs right from the Tesla itself. You can see this group of banana plugs. And there's one that's paired off. You see a white indicator here on each of these wires. See this pair here? Another white indicator there. That pair with the white indicator is going to go on the right-hand side on the single pair of on jacks. The one that doesn't have the double set. I'm just going to match up the colors here and put those in there. Make sure that the connections are snug. There is some variation in the size of the jacks and plugs, so some of them might seem tighter or looser. As long as they're in there and you got a good connection, then there's no problem. Everything is good to go. So just put all these in here, make sure they're snug. Then we're going to do the external coil, same way. There's just one pair here. I'm going to put these plugs into any set of open jacks. You can see there's a little set on the left side of each of these amps. I'm just going to pick the center and put that in there. Okay, there we go. So those are snug. Here's the player now. I want to set this player up. On the left side, we've got this power. I'm going to plug this travel charger into the power strip now. See that a red light was going to come on. That's the power indicator. And when I look down at my player now, that it's turned itself on now that it has power. So next thing I'm going to do is, see if I depress this clip, you can see that this clip just lifts up. This will sit right in the amp player holder right here. I just press this and go ahead and set your player into the holder. Okay. And now we're going to connect the RCA audio connectors now. You look at these 3 pairs of RCA connectors, they go into the left side, into the RCA jacks. So I'm just going to match up colors here and start putting them in. Doesn't matter which one goes to which, just pick a connection and make sure the connections are snug. There we go. Okay, those are all snug. So this is what the back of the amplifier assembly looks like, fully connected. Now we're just going to we're going to take a look here. I look at my player now. This is playing. You can see numbers counting. On the very top is the power button. just for your knowledge, there's a little circular button here on the top. In case you ever need to turn your player on or off, you do it right there. And then on the left side, there's a little plus and a minus. That's the volume control for your player. If you press that and hold that down on the minus, it's going to lower your audio volume like this. Maybe see the slide indicator here as the volume goes down. And then, there you go. Now if I press the plus key, it's going to go back up. Now you want to set it 90% and leave that at 90%. As far as your amplifier settings, what you're going to want to do is leave that big silver knob on about 3 o'clock. 2 or 3 o'clock is perfect with this. And just make sure they're all the same. The center knob all the way to the right. All the way to the right. Left knob all the way to the left. Okay. And the silver buttons should be out. That makes a direct feed from the player, which is a very pure signal. And then your power button should be on, of course. So that's how you want to set it. You can see now we've got red lights that the Tesla IQube is running. There's an audio source. The external coil as well. You can see top and bottom. Yep, bottom there's some red LEDs going on all 6 of those lights. And then I'm going to turn the lights out here so you can just take a good look. There's also lights at the bottom of each base of each tower. If you look through the ventilation holes, you can see that red glow. If you turn out all the lights in your house, you'll be able to see this really well. These lights are going to alternate. Sometimes they'll be brighter than other times. Sometimes they're going to flash. Sometimes half of them seem brighter than the others. But as long as you've got lights in a pretty constant basis throughout the soundtrack, you're good to go. If your lights don't work, then you may need to check your connections. Here's a subwoofer. We're just going to set this up now. There's a red cable coming from your speakers. If you turn it so that you got the flat top, and there's a little notch on the bottom. It's going to go right in this spot in the back of the subwoofer. So flat end up, just push that in there. Make sure that's snug. In the bottom right, we've got our power. I'm just going to plug this into the power strip. There we go. Now you can see a blue light came on the speaker. This is the power light. To the right is the volume control knob for the audio. And there's one more connector to plug in. See, there's volume control. The last connection to plug in is the audio cable to the speakers, and that's this green cable here. I'm going to put this into any open spot on this Belkin audio splitter. The splitter right here, I'm going to pick this spot. It's the same splitter with the RCAs. Just make sure that's in there snug. Looks good. Okay, now when I turn this up, you can hear the audio. You can hear the audio playing. You always want to adjust your music volume on these speakers. Leave your player volume and your big silver knobs on the amplifier set. So if you want your volume for the sound up louder, just use the speakers. This should be at 90% again. These should be about 2 or 3 o'clock. Just leave those as they are. And your Tesla IQube is all set up. I hope you found this video informative and you know where to put your settings and how to set up. If you have any questions or issues, please give us a call and we're always happy to help.